God versus man. Day versus night. Son of Krypton versus Bat of Gotham.
Zack Snyder and Chris Terrio's superhero epic has many allegorical and literal themes that you might not expect it to. I've always felt that DC Comics characters have more of a timeless and mythic quality to them compared to the heroes and villains from publishers like Marvel, whose icons are more relatable and timely. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman and company always seemed more larger than life, more statuesque, more like a true version of the modern mythology that comic book superheroes are so often referred to as. This idea of DC heroes and villains being timeless myths is reflected in some of the modern DC films. While many found the lack of color and humor in 2013's Man of Steel to be a lame attempt at being dark and edgy, I saw it as more of an attempt at achieving that mythic quality DC Comics often have. The bluish-white of many scenes in Man of Steel reminded me of ancient sculptures of gods from Greek mythology. I feel that my interpretation of those visuals from Man of Steel were validated in the expansion of that approach clearly found in 2016's Batman v Superman. Not only have they retained a somewhat desaturated palette and a softer reliance on timely world happenings compared to Marvel Studios movies, but they have even gone so far as to clearly make the relationship between gods and men from many famous myths to be a central and encompassing theme in the movie.
Men fall from the sky. The gods hurl thunderbolts.
In the first moments of the film, we get this opening monologue from Bruce Wayne.
Things fall. Things on Earth. And what falls is fallen.
Bruce!
I feel that Bruce's monologue parallels the film's ending and ties into the overall theme of the movie, which contrasts beings of the sky versus beings of the earth and of the underworld. Gods versus men, a fitting theme for a Batman versus Superman movie. Bruce says that what falls is fallen, and that after he fell, figuratively after his parents' death and then literally into the cave after the funeral, the light he was brought to above ground was a beautiful lie. This contrasts interestingly with the end of the film. Superman has supposedly died and is put into the ground. Lois spreads soil on his coffin as a last goodbye, and then as she walks away, the soil levitates slightly off the coffin before the film abruptly cuts to credits. Not only is this a reference to the ending of Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, from which this film takes many ideas, but it's also a fulfillment of a cinematic theme, one that Bruce poetically mentions in the film's opening. For Bruce, he is a being of the underworld. His fear was conquered, and his purpose was found in a cave. His work done as Batman is in a cave. Bruce is destined to work within the confines of the elements that define him. Thus, all that falls is fallen. Clark, on the other hand, is an inherent being of the sky. He came from the sky when he was a baby, he works in the lofty Daily Planet skyscraper, and he soars through the sky every day as the world's champion Superman. If he is put in the ground, he is destined to rise back again to the sky. To directly reference screenwriter Chris Terrio's statements about the movie to the Wall Street Journal, I began to think Batman and Superman occupy different parts of the mythic imagination. In superhero stories, Batman is Pluto, god of the underworld, and Superman is Apollo, god of the sky. I'm a very big fan of characters representing grand themes and having elemental qualities, so I'm thrilled to find such elaborate and cohesive mythic themes in this cinematic vision of the DC universe.
God is all-powerful. He cannot be all good. And if he is all good, then he cannot be all-powerful. And neither can you be.
Now on to Lex Luthor. Now, even though I'm kind of mixed on Jesse Eisenberg's take on the character, I did find a lot of aspects of this character very compelling, even if he's more unstable than previous versions of the character have been. But he has a clear and twisted theology, and he consistently brings up metaphors to gods and men from mythology. When speaking to Senator Finch at his home, he references a painting his dad hung, which depicts angels soaring down from heaven to battle demons rising from beneath the ground. Lex states a piece of his theology here, mentioning a wish to hang the painting upside down, so the painting will instead depict what he considers the truth, that devils don't come from hell beneath us, they come from the sky. Now, this obviously references his feelings on Superman, but it also encompasses his overall worldview. And this painting will become even more relevant at the end of the movie upon Lex foreshadowing doom to come, but more on that later. Lex continues his mythological allegories when accessing the Kryptonian scout ship to utilize the old birthing matrix to reanimate the deceased General Zod into the monstrous Doomsday. As he lowers Zod's corpse into the chamber, he mourns,
"You flew too close to the sun. Now look at you."
This references the Greek myth of Icarus building wings from wax to fly, who then flew too close to the sun, which melted his wings, and he fell into the sea. The myth is a lesson of hubris, and even though Lex references the lesson Icarus learned, he still retains that pride himself. He's a mortal man, but wishes to reach up to the level of the gods. He makes clear his ambition to kill God by destroying Superman, since he shares Bruce Wayne's feeling of powerlessness at such a figure coming to Earth and holding such influence over our fate, whether it be good or bad. He wishes to reach beyond his realm. However, despite that ambition, he still knows better than Icarus did. He won't risk himself by trying to ascend to the heavens, at least not yet, but he will take action to swat God out of the sky, to kill him and thus empower man. This is why he incorporates Zod's corpse into his mad plan to destroy Superman. Lex's entire motivation of creating Doomsday in the first place might be seen as a messy unraveling of his plan in the script, and that may even be partially true. It's quite a leap from his previous orchestrations behind the scenes, but I come away liking it because it all goes toward a physical manifestation of Lex's theological view of God, or in this case, Superman. When Lex and Superman finally meet, Lex tells him, if God is all good, then he cannot be all powerful. If he is all powerful, he cannot be all good. Lex's master plan for Superman to fight Batman is not only a radical way to achieve his ends in the story, practically, but it's also a way for Lex to physically prove his theology. He challenges Superman to kill Batman to save someone he loves. If Superman kills Batman, then he's not all good, and discredits him to the world. If Batman kills Superman, then he is not all powerful since he's killed by a man. This plan fails, however, due to these two opposed elemental forces being united by a common humanity. Lex's test didn't work as he anticipated. He now knows that God may be all good since he didn't kill Batman, but Superman also didn't die due to an unforeseen turn, so Lex needs to prove that he's not all powerful. So he unleashes the ultimate means with which to break Superman's power. Plot-wise, these events are somewhat contrived, but I find the overarching thematic ideas they represent to be worth the somewhat weak links in the plot. As we know, this plan of Lex's results in Superman needing to sacrifice himself to stop Doomsday. In a sense, it seems that Lex was right, and Superman may not be all-powerful. But that's all up for conjecture, since it seems that Superman may still be alive in the final moments of the film anyway. Finally, the movie's final scene of Lex has him giving a maddened and ominous warning of a threat beyond our world to come. Apparently, his time of prying into the knowledge base of the Kryptonian scout ship has shown him more about the universe than he anticipated, and it's hinted that Lex now knows that the evil godlike Darkseid has his sights set upon Earth. This ties into Batman's vision of an Earth in ruin, stamped by Darkseid's Omega symbol, also a Greek alphanumeric character. As we leave Lex rambling about his threat, we see police photographing Lex's office, with a painting of the angels and demons now flipped to show the demons on top, falling down from the sky. We knew that this view of Lex's pertained to Superman, but we now know that it also foreshadows a coming of Darkseid's forces of evil from the sky as well. So that's a brief look at some of the interesting theological and mythological ideas that are woven pretty consistently throughout Batman v Superman. So what do you think of this? Am I full of it? Do you agree with this? Are you a fan of Snyder's take or not? Snyder cut, am I right? It's crazy. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please, like, subscribe, all that fun business. Stay tuned to more flickerings from Gray Matinee coming sometime.